More. See you through, love. Be the first to love. Fill your heart with love. Sing about it, love. Be about the love. Never doubt it, love. Full dimensional love is our shelter, love. Now and always, love. Before and after, love. Love gives you courage, love mends your heart, love. It's the best thing, love. You can't go wrong with love, 'cause it's eternal, love, and it has no end, love. Stand up for love. Unconditional love is our shelter, love. Now and always, love. Before and after, love. Love, love, help me sing it. That's your part. Let's raise the vibration of, let's be about that. It feels so good to sing together about this force that brings us all together, love. It's our shelter, love. Now and always, before and after, love. Love, oh, gives you courage, love. Yeah, mends your heart, love. It's the best thing, love. You can't go wrong with love, 'cause it's eternal, love, and it has no end, love. Now and forever, love. Unconditional love. It's our shelter, love. Now and always, love. Before and after, love. Love, love. Come on. Yeah, yeah. I don't believe you. Now I do, yeah. Love. Come on, let's sing about it, love. It's free to say, love. Oh, come on now, love. Love, love is our shelter, love. Now and always, love. Before and after, love. Love, I am one of many with just one life to live. The gifts I have, great and small, I give them all. I give simply, purely from my soul. I give. Here I stand, a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Here a vessel to be used. Whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be. Oh, whatever Spirit needs of me, I will be, I will be, I will be.
Thank you, Michelle. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to the San Jose Center for Spiritual Living. This is the place where all of us have the opportunity to both witness and participate in the transformation of lives and the building of dreams and the revelation of love. The question that you'll be asked here, we'll all be asked, is whether we'll be open to the possibility of changing our entire life by changing our mind. Welcome home. My name is Paula Stapleton. I am an unlicensed, non-professional prayer practicer. I'm also a member here at the center, and I am delighted to be your host this morning. If this is your first time with us, I'm just pleased to welcome you. We have a gift for you that gives you some information about the center, and you can pick it up in the fellowship hall at the concierge desk or in the foyer if you exit this room from the back when we're done. I also want to welcome those of you who have braved the internet to join us. Your moderator today, I don't know who that is. But you do have one. And if you have a question, you just type it there on your screen, and that moderator will endeavor to answer that question. I also, this is the time where we participate in our community. And so if you would turn to someone in your row and welcome them and greet them.
Good morning. Good morning. Dare I say I am a licensed professional prayer practitioner? My name is Marcia Bencala. Welcome. At this point in our service, we like to create a sacred space as we move into the message. So if you'll take a moment to make sure that your cell phones are turned off, then we will have a chant together, move into 2 minutes of silence, and then I'll pray.
Love, 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 love.
With hearts wide open, let's pray. The One, all that there is, embracing perfect pure love. This is God, changeless. For God being all that there is nothing for God to change into. I am the perfect expression of God. We are all beloved creations that come from the everlasting and eternal. And yet, I faintly sense that the sweet summer is changing into fall. And it reminds me of the changes in my life today. I know that change is the creative force of life, that life principle which must create and express itself through us. So consciously, I move into the front seat of my life, and I realize that we are here to live life fully and not just to go through the motions. I know that we design our lives by the choices that we make, co-creating with life. So I embrace change and consciously choose that next step which will bring me to my highest good. We welcome change, and although it may seem unsettling at times, we ground it in love, wisdom, that which guides us, that which brings us inner peace and calm. Changeless in its love, joy, and pleasure in us as we honor the divine and co-create good. Life is so sweet, and I am grateful for the sun that rose this morning and will rise again tomorrow. I am grateful for it all. So trusting that small voice within and that which hears our every word, I release this prayer, this word, into the law, infinite mind in action, knowing that it creates only good, and so it is. Repeat with me our affirmation. I rely on God alone, in whom I live, move, and have my being. A sense of peace and certainty flows through me. I am surrounded with friendship, love, and beauty. Enthusiasm, joy, vitality, and inspiration are in everything I do.
We're honored to have joining me this morning Grayson and Megan.
Don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. I just thought I'd tell you there is a love inside of your heart. And I don't know if you know there's a love that is so strong. I just thought I'd tell you there is a strength inside of your soul. And I don't know if you know there's a strength inside of your soul. I just thought I'd tell you there is a power inside of us all. And I don't know if you know there's a power inside of us all. It's time to celebrate. 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 There is a love inside of you, brother. And I don't know if you know there's a light that is so bright. I just thought I'd tell you there is a power inside of us all. And I don't know if you know there's a power inside of us all. And it's time to celebrate, 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 celebrate,
Good morning. Step one. Who in here loves? You know what? Stand up if you love someone a lot. Doesn't matter who you love, but do you love? Hello, lovers! Woo. Keep your clothes on, the new people in the back row. It's not like that. So this is why I've been at CSL for 4 years. All of this love, this support. Love is action. It's action. And anytime I need to approach something that I feel is impossible, I just try to sit within this love. And speaking for only 5 minutes, as my husband will attest, is something impossible. And I know I can do this when I'm in this space. I've been here for 4 years. You'll find me in the Youth and Family Wing on the third Sunday of every month. I don't know if I said my name was Heather, but it is for today. Thank you. My brain will come back in a minute. I found CSL. CSL found me because I made a commitment years ago, right around September 11th, in my yoga practice and bringing my firstborn child into the world. Something came from within and motivated me, and that was to be committed to being the space and holding the space for every person with a broken heart, every person on earth, to just feel content, to feel whole, and to feel that love. And what started happening when I committed to this was that my vocabulary started showing up in the people around me. I started meeting new people that were speaking the same language, and things opened up. Activities, places to go, events, where everyone was speaking this language. It became very powerful, and CSL came up in a conversation. The reason I stayed are these banners, sowing the seeds of greatness. I can relate to that. I'm doing that. We're all doing this. We're in the same conversation, and there's power here. So every day stuff comes up. I'm a householder. This is the real world. It's all beautiful. This works. We're all in the same conversation of, wow, we're all one. We recognize that this is all it. This is all source. This is all pervading God in and through everything. And I like to imagine it like the ocean, and each one of us is coming up as a wave, as this beautiful crest. And we think we're alone until we look over and we see another wave. And we're like, oh, wow, you're a beautiful wave as well. And I can only see myself when I see you. And what divides us from being a wave and being the ocean is nothing. We are just it. It's in and through everything. And we're just this expression of this beautiful source and this beautiful creative power emerging through us as these waves. So being at CSL in the spiritual classes and making these amazing friends that are supporting me in the front row today, my family, my yoga practice, and the Book of the Month Club, Dr. David, our practitioners, everybody that creates, we create this. We are here being fellow waves, supporting this so that we can do these great things. But we also recognize that even in this interdependence of our inner relationship, we're celebrating, but also bound by the routines of relationships, in-laws. I'm raising my kids and my parents right now. I've got dishes to wash. So why, if I'm mending broken hearts and also seeing all this beauty, how is this working and why is there undesirable things coming up if I'm like this greatness, right? Am I creating death? So CSL has supported me and my fellow waves in the last Troward class I took, and in my prayer partner, Ron Wade. Sitting for the last month at the bedside of a dying parent, you really get to figure out what life's all about. There's no more gifts to give. There's no more places to hide or doors to be slammed or family events to not show up to. It's like, this is it. I'm next to you in your hospital bed and I'm just watching every breath you take. And all the monitors are saying that this is going to be the last one. And that's it. It's pretty simple. So who do I want to be? I just want to be pure love and compassion for my stepfather. And this was uncomfortable because I found him unlovable. But I thought we were this beautiful ocean and sea of everything amazing and power. But we had a rough life. He was a struggle. But it turned out beautiful. He's alive and well. And Ron Wade said a prayer for me. And I just want to share this prayer. I said, pray for me. We're having peace. We're having harmony. We're it. We've been praying for that. The highest good is happening. And he's alive. But pray for me to see the beauty, the God in him. And Rod said, not in 18 months of counseling, he just said in a short 5 minutes, Heather, he's being the best Mike Casey that he can be. Sure, he's a tyrant. He's not saying thank you to his surgeons. He's kicking over his food plates, and he acts like he doesn't want to live, but he's being himself. And I realized, he's a beautiful way of doing the best that he can, and I can only be there to love and support his beautiful heart. And I'm thankful to Ron Wade and his poetry and his prayer and all of you. Thank you.
Apparently this is the pre-service meeting. Good morning, everybody. We're going to start service in just a few minutes. Hi, David. Good morning. Let me try that all over again. Lots of reverb. Hi, everybody. So, this is moving week for me, and I'm spent. I'm going to lean on the lectern a lot. We bought a 2-story condo. We got the one that was the perfect one in the mind of God. It was also the one that I wanted, and so it was a win-win. And I'm very grateful to be back in San Jose. I'm really, really grateful. You know, I had a really good life for 7 years in Oakland. I lived on Lake Merritt. I lived in a modern high-rise with a view of the lake and of the fog as it rolls over the city of San Francisco. And I got to experience 880 for 7 years. And it was, it's interesting. People said, how could you do that? Well, actually, I'm going to miss my commute because I listened to a lot of audiobooks, and I got to listen to lots of talk radio on satellite, and I got most of my phone calls done there. And a lot of people, when they get home, they need to have a drink. Well, I was already decompressed because I was sitting still for a couple hours every day in my car. So I will actually miss my commute, but I got to tell you, it was really nice this morning, or last night I went to bed. I set my alarm for the time when I'm normally in the car on the way here. So that was really cool. Plus, about 10:30 last night, I heard Mauricio's voice, and I don't know why, he doesn't know how to whisper. I heard him go, "Are you awake?" I said, yeah. He said, "I'm hungry." I said, "Me too." I thought we were going to go downstairs and go to the kitchen and raid the fridge, but in my neighborhood now we don't have to do that. We just have to put on some appropriate clothing and head out and walk around the block. We said, should we have La Victoria or Pizza My Heart, or there's a McDonald's and Jack in the Box and some other pizza joint, and then so we decided to try them all. Really, so we had a quesadilla at La Victoria, and then we went across the street and had a slice of pizza at Pizza My Heart, and then we went to Ben and Jerry's, and we got one thing that we shared as we walked over to Yogurt Land, and I thought, God is good. God is really, really good. So the reason why I want to keep leaning is we had movers move our stuff into the unit, but Mauricio is a project manager, so he doesn't want things too busy, so he had me carrying boxes upstairs and bringing boxes down, up and down, and so my calves should be pretty hot looking in about a week after they stop moving around. Community. I'm really moved by the community that I experienced this week. It was stunning, actually. On Thursday was packing day. 2 members from this community showed up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they stayed for till 5 p.m., helping us to pack. But then at 12 noon, another one came, and then at 2, another one came, and they stayed till about 8 o'clock, and we got the whole condo packed. And then on Friday, the movers arrived and took everything to the new place here in San Jose. And then yesterday, one of our members arrived at the house early in the morning and brought with her a housewarming gift. It was one roll of toilet paper. Because I didn't pack my condo, so I didn't know where anything was. And she texted and said, "I'm coming over. Do you need anything?" And I said, "Toilet paper." So that's what she brought. If I had known she was going to bring me what I asked for, I would have asked for a lot more. And then 3 other members of this center arrived and helped us to unpack the whole place. Community. Community. It's beautiful to have community. And have you all so close. I realize that it's very easy to drop by my house now, so I'm not going to advertise my address. But community. These are created by community. These 4 were painted by people in this community. And these 4 paintings will be up for auction this coming Saturday night at our annual auction, at which I will be, and I hope that you will be there too. It's a beautiful, fun night. And it's promising to be the best one we've ever had. Best in that the lineup and the learning that has taken place over the last few years has really accelerated creating an environment in which we'll have a good time and be very powerful for the community. That one there, I hope you come up on the stage carefully after service and look at it. That was created by the sister of the woman who's co-chairing the auction. Anne's sister. Anne Marshall is the co-chair this year. She and her sister, Jane, went with us to Bali last year. There were a group of almost 40 of us that went to Bali, and Jane was there. And Jane, Anne's sister, bought all kinds of fabric from Bali, and then she cut them into strips and made these flowers and these branches out of pieces of fabric from Bali, and then sent it here for the auction. Community. It's amazing what community will do. I hope you will come and check this out and come to the auction next weekend. Our topic today is avoiding the undesirable. I mean, was that cosmic or what? Because it's moving week, and I thought, avoiding the undesirable. I wish I knew how to actually avoid it. I was hoping to cast some spells, or maybe I should have had Ron Wade pray for me to be moved without me having to be present for it. That would have been nice. Avoiding the undesirable. I was wondering, how do I do that? How do I avoid the undesirable? I mean, I'm a pretty good procrastinator sometimes, so I actually know how to do it, but I don't know how to do it gracefully and effectively. So usually what I will do is I will push through things that are not necessarily what I want to do. Now, we had an assistant minister here years ago. Her name is Jane Beach, and Reverend Jane Beach then went and became a senior minister for her own community in Mountain View, from which she has now retired, and she's like a circuit minister and choosing her own hours. And as typical of Reverend Jane, she's totally thrilled with just about every moment of her day. Reverend Jane taught me something when she was my assistant minister. She said, when things are appearing that you don't necessarily want, or they're showing up in a way that you would rather they'd not be, that's an opportunity for you as the spiritual seeker to pretend, act as if you chose it exactly the way that it is. Act as if you chose it. I said, okay, I can see that. So I chose the traffic. Pretend I chose it. And that does allow me to move into a frame of mind when I can be peaceful and not victimized by traffic. Or I can think, well, this is a good opportunity now for me to have another phone call, find a new radio station. But what about somebody who has cancer? Would I dare say, act as if you chose it? What if somebody who's been left by their husband or wife of 40 years, would I dare say, act as if you chose it? What about somebody who has a friend or a relative who's been murdered? Would I say to them, act as if you chose it? Well, for the advanced spiritual seeker, I might. For people I don't really know and I don't engage with, I may not, because that would require a pretty long conversation. But I don't know if you know it. Our community is constantly being refreshed with new folk. So some of you don't know Jay Bosley. Jay Bosley is a member here. And on the 8th day of August in 2008, his wife was murdered. She was murdered by the ex-boyfriend of a good friend of hers. She went to stay with her good friend because her good friend was being harassed by the good friend's ex-boyfriend. And her friend had a restraining order put on this guy. And so Jay's wife, Nancy, went to Reading to hang out with a friend to keep her calm. When the ex-boyfriend showed up at the door, banged on the door, Nancy opened it, and he killed her. Would I say to Jay Bosley, act as if you chose it? I didn't have to, because Jay taught us that. The very next week, Jay Bosley stood on this stage, and he said that he forgives the man who killed his wife. And I thought, that's crazy. Or, that's holy. See, Jay knew the distinction between acceptance, surrender, and giving up. And when I think about avoiding the undesirable, I realize I'm at a choice about acceptance, surrender, or giving up. And that's actually, I believe we all are as a spiritual community, at choice to choose whether we will accept whatever's going on, whatever it is, by the way, even the way you think about what's going on in the Middle East. Acceptance, surrender, or giving up. Jay knew the distinction, and he still does. By the way, Jay's now remarried to an amazing widow who's now his wife, and they met at a widowers group. And I think today they're at the temple. They now divide themselves between two communities. They've got her Jewish temple and his whatever we are. And we see them, we get the best of two worlds. Acceptance. For me, acceptance is being aware of reality. It is what it is. You have a cancer diagnosis. It is what it is. Your spouse has left you. It is what it is. You've discovered that your kid is climbing out the window in the middle of the night and doing things you don't want. It is what it is. When we accept we can then take action from reality. And I'm telling you this in a spiritual center because I believe that our spirituality requires us to be inspired into action. And if we're not inspired into action, we've been lulled into sleep. I'm interested in being inspired into action, taking actionable steps so that the thing itself, which I call God, is given an avenue into which it may emerge in a brand new way, on purpose, and not by accident, not by default, directed. So acceptance is being aware of what is. Surrender is an interesting one, because I looked in the dictionary. Surrender means to stop the fight against forces that you cannot control. It means to cease resistance and submit. Now, most folks who find their way into a community like this do not want to cease resistance and submit to a God that has a will that may or may not be the will that you would have for yourself. So we're not likely to submit to a God that may want us to move to Tulsa. Although Tulsa's a nice place if you're Billy Graham. His school is there. And I have family there. But I was thinking, we miss something too, though, when we don't invite surrender into our personal vernacular because we're resistant. We're resistant to surrender. But there is a lot of possibility that is available to us that we will never reach if we don't surrender, because we move through the world thinking that we will generate all the ideas that will create whatever it is that we want, and therefore our creation is limited to those things about which we can imagine right now. But what about all those things you cannot imagine? A whole field of endless possibility that will never emerge unless we possibly surrender or to submit. But I think submission that way could be submitting to a higher power, or a part of us that is not hooked into whatever's not working, or a part of us that is able to actually forgive or to not get angry or not react. Okay. His name was Louis Zamperini. And Louis Zamperini died on July 2nd. He was 97 years old. He was a former U.S. Olympian from Torrance, California. And he was drafted into World War II. And he was now a U.S. military man when his plane headed over the Pacific was shot down. They landed on water. The plane was destroyed, but 3 of the men survived and lived on a life raft. One of them eventually died, but then 2 of them lived on that life raft for 40 days, surviving on nothing but rainwater and the occasional fish or bird that they could catch. After 40 days, they spotted land, and they were headed toward it, paddling with their feet and their hands, sunburned, cracked, desperate. When a ship came, and they were very happy that they were going to be rescued, but it was the Japanese who took them into custody, and they became prisoners of war. There's a new film that's going to be released soon, based on the book called Unbroken. So Louis, for 2 years, lived in prisoner camps, and he was treated very badly, very abusively, horrifically. And because his captors knew that he was a former Olympian, they kept trying to use his celebrity to make pro-Japanese, anti-American propaganda, which he refused, which caused him to be abused even more, particularly by a prison guard they called the Bird. The Bird. Long story short, the U.S. dropped atomic bombs on Japan. It altered the world, actually. It still makes me I can't comprehend a world in which that happens. But we have the power to alter it. That's why I come to places like this. But because that happened, the world ended as we knew it, and prisoners of war were set free. He was returned to Torrance. His family was very happy about it. But he was a mess. He married a woman that he had met only 2 weeks earlier, began to drink a lot. His marriage was then falling apart, became an avowed alcoholic, was desperate, happened to meet Billy Graham, who altered his course. Long story short, he stopped drinking, created a marriage that worked, and began touring about possibility. But his main message, and why I'm telling you this, is he surrendered, but he never gave up. See, there's acceptance, surrender, or giving up. He surrendered, but he never gave up. He surrendered in that he submitted to whatever was happening because you have full awareness. You don't need to argue. It is what it is. But surrender is distinct from giving up. He didn't give up, because to give up is to become victimized by. To surrender is to save your resources until later. You can surrender and give in, but giving in is not giving up. Giving up is a resistance to what is. Surrender is stopping the fight against forces you cannot control. And I believe this is important for us who are spiritual seekers, to be aware of the distinction between surrendering and giving up. I knew somebody back in 1994. In fact, tomorrow is my 20th anniversary as a minister. And for 20 years I've been hanging around. Well, even before that, because it took me 7 years to get the license, so almost 30 years. I knew a man named Dean, and in the 1980s, he was diagnosed with HIV. Doctor told him he would live 2 years at most, and he died almost 2 years to the day of that diagnosis. Now, I have to say, there's really no need to be that polite to your physician. What I learned about Dean, what I remember about him, is that Dean gave up. Because there were other folks, by the way, who were diagnosed who did not die 2 years later. Dean gave up. At the same time, in school and ministry, I had a teacher named Fletcher Harding. 6 years before, he was diagnosed with a form of cancer. And the doctor said, you had 6 months. Now, I know doctors tend not to say that anymore because they realize they don't know. They don't know. And by the way, even things that are uncurable, they're not really uncurable, because if doctors or researchers thought there was no cure, they wouldn't waste money trying to find one. Simply what they're saying is, I don't know what to do to help you. But something in us does, and we can surrender to that. So Dr. Fletcher Harding, 6 years before, was told by his physician, you have about 6 months to live. And you know what he told us 6 years later? He said, they forgot to tell me what year. You know, he didn't give up. He didn't give up. So I'm really moved by community this week. I'm grateful for the folks who showed up. And even late last night, 2 people came by with 2 big shopping bags. They banged on the door, and I opened the door, and I thought, how do these people get into this complex? It's supposed to be secure. How does this happen? They sort of walk right up. And there was one point, even actually the doorbell rang, and Mal yells, it's open! And there was nothing. And Mal goes, it's open! And then the door creaks open, and this guy sticks his head in. He said, UPS delivery. And Mal said, oh, we thought you were one of our friends. And the man goes, I am one of your friends. So Mal said, then come on in. And the 2 of them were drinking tequila in the kitchen. Well, don't tell the UPS guy's boss, but it's good to have community. I'm really grateful. Oh, so they came in carrying bags. They started packing fruits and vegetables and chocolate and macarons and then they just in stealth they dropped this stuff and left. I thought, who are these people? But this is what community can do. I'm going to close with some of you don't experience community. Some of you may actually observe feeling like you're not part of. I've seen that a lot. In fact, I used to be kind of like that. I used to sit on the outside, the outskirts, with my brothers and my dad, until one day I was aware that they didn't invite me in because I had a very clear sign unwritten on me that said, "Leave me alone." So all the while I was longing to be called in, but I was telling people, "Leave me alone." If you're feeling on the outer edge, I invite you to consider if that may or may not be a possibility. Maybe you actually have a sign that says, "Leave me alone." And if you want to try something new, there's something that's very effective to warming folks up around you. One is demonstrate a genuine interest in the person in front of you. Ask them about themselves. Learn something about them. Find out what makes them thrill and move and maybe even cry. So I realized that today's message is totally scattered and unjointed. I got it. And I'm good with that, because the fact that I'm even here with you is totally miraculous and beautiful. So I'm just accepting it and surrendering to it, but I'm not going to give up. So I'm grateful that you're here with me, and I ask you to join me as we pray together, powerfully and briefly. I'm grateful for the two youth singers that have brought forth the experience of the youth wing into this room. And I am grateful for this one life, which is God. That life is perfect and complete. And it is our life right now. I'm grateful for the really tiny young ones that are about to enter this room and sing during the offertory. And I'm grateful to my community and my neighborhood, La Victoria, McDonald's, Jack in the Box, Pizza My Heart, Ben & Jerry's, Yogurtland. I'm grateful for Jay Bosley for demonstrating that acceptance can move to forgiveness, which moves to transformation, even in the most unthinkable circumstances. And I'm grateful for Louis Zamperini. Although he surrendered, he never gave up, and shows us that transformation can take place. I'm grateful for Dean to remind me not to give up, and Dr. Fletcher Harding for having a sense of lightness with whatever life throws your way. And right now I'm speaking my word for each in this room and those within earshot of my voice. May we remember as we move through the world that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And that as spiritual beings, we have a responsibility to move through the world in such a way that others notice that we are spiritual beings, that it shows up in how we live, how we move, and how we have our being. And for this I am deeply grateful, because it is already done, and so it is. So tomorrow is Labor Day. And what I've noticed about Labor Day is that Labor Day isn't just on Monday. It's pretty much a weekend that we can use to maybe enjoy the last days at the pool or the beach or at the lake, or a chance to have one more barbecue before back to school and all of that. But you know, Labor Day emerged in 1894 as a governmental recognition for the workers that have made this country and continue to make this country a great place. And I'm moved by that. I want to acknowledge, though, at the same time, all of the workers that keep this community going. Thank you. whether it's the team in the kitchen or those who are making coffee or those who are greeters or ushers or the concierge. Because without them, by the way, without the workers and the youth, there would be a lot of kids in this room right now. So I am deeply grateful. I also want to tell you that I am committed to continue to be a worker for this particular spiritual community, and I invite you to be a worker for this community too, to make a contribution with your time and make a contribution with the way that you treat others. And if you notice someone's on the fringe or on the edge, maybe you can approach them to bring them in. But also, I'm grateful for your generosity that keeps us equipping. I'm grateful that your generosity allows us to purchase the items that are necessary so that our teachers and our youth and our kitchen workers can provide the things for which you are used to. So thank you. As the ushers come forward, please say with me our giving affirmation. Everything I touch today prospers. I touch everyone and everything in my thoughts with support and compassion. I am surrounded by goodwill, kindness, and support. So what's going on today with the youth?
Yes. The youth are joining us now to bring our last song to all of us to sing together. And so Miss Liz is bringing them in. And we have Grayson and Megan being the lead vocals. And the band's beginning to start now. A one, a two, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. I got up this morning singing, God is so good. My God is so good to me. Feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. Feeling good down in my soul. God is so good. My God is so good to me.
In my time of trouble.
In my time of trouble, I know God is so good.
Sing, church.
In my time of trouble, I know God is so good. In my time of trouble, I know God is so good. My God is so good to me. Every day, in every way, God is so good. Every day, in every way, God is so good. When I take the time to praise the Spirit, God is so good. My God is so good to me.
In my time of triumph.
In my time of triumph, I know God is so good.
Come on, church, help them.
In my time of triumph, I know God is so good. In my time of triumph, I know God is so good. My God is so good to me.
When my day is over.
When my day is over, I know God is so good.
Awesome. That was great. So there's lots of ways to buy tickets for the auction. You have a smartphone. If you have a PayPal account, you can purchase tickets online, $35. The concierge will help you buy tickets. We're at the table. You can write a check, do it the old-fashioned way, or we'll swipe your card. So get your tickets today for next week's event. And Joanna has a sneak preview announcement.
Okay, for everyone who wants to see what kind of incredible items we have at the auction, please go to your CSL website. There'll be a link that will take you out to the catalog where you'll be able to see all the incredible things that we have. So come check it out.
Thank you.
Thank you, ladies. This room is going to be a club. There'll be a dance floor, music, food. It'll be fun. I have a few announcements as well. Tomorrow being Labor Day, the offices are going to be closed, so there'll be no one here to answer the phone. On Wednesday, Dr. David's drop-in coaching group on forgiveness will be at 5:45, and there are 2 Wednesdays left of his group. And after that, following that at 6:30, will be the launch of Satsangs with Dr. David. This is a time of silence and sharing and community. Registration is open right now for 4 classes: Foundations, Building a Healing Consciousness, Power of Decision, and Inward Journey. So if you have any questions, you need to go to the education table. You can register online at home or at the concierge desk as well. For the Inward Journey, there are some prerequisites, so you need to talk to Reverend Doris about what the specific prerequisites are for that class. Outreach for September. September is tomorrow. Yes. The Outreach Project is supporting the Second Harvest Food Bank. So at the Outreach table, you'll find a shopping list, and you can pick up some things and help us feed members of our community who are hungry. A few dates for you to save. Next Sunday, there's a workshop called The Energies of Love featuring noted authors Donna Eden and David Feinstein, Howard Falco, and Edward Viljoen. There's a $40 fee at the door. And then following on Tuesday the 9th, the Better Business Breakfast at 7 o'clock in the morning. And then the following Friday, the 12th, there Gregory Merritt's Fall Equinox and Shamanic Journey. Center Stage Productions is back, which means that there are auditions coming up on Sunday, the 14th. There are roles available for 5 people for the holiday show. It's a Wonderful Life, a radio show. So I do understand that it's scripts to read on stands in front of you as opposed to memorizing lines. And finally, Reverend Maureen's Compassionate Care Drop-In Group. Let's talk about ... We'll meet again on the 14th. The topic is a bittersweet season, caring for our aging parents and ourselves. Finally, if there is anything for which you would like prayer, someone will meet you in the chapel area afterwards. Back to you. You're welcome.
Ken Rowell, would you be willing to show people who you are? Ken Rowell is the man who leads our Better Business Breakfast. It's a great time. And the breakfast is there, and the breakfast is catered, and the breakfast is free. So it's like free meal and be in the presence of Ken. Ken is a business superstar. He will help you transform your business just by being in his presence. And his intention is that people can bring spiritual principles to their workplace. And did I say that this is free? You don't want to pass this up, my friends. In fact, Ken, you should charge a lot of money and then help people. Only select people can get in, and people will knock you over to get in that room. Don't miss that. And so thank you, Paula, for bringing that up and reminding me. I want to let you know that this is there. If you want spirituality in your business, go to that on Tuesday morning. And then on Wednesday night, we are kicking off the satsang, and satsang is a Buddhist term in which people sit together in enlightenment to explore spirituality. So for 1/2 hour, sit with me in silence from 6:30 to 7, and then at 7 I'll talk just like 5 or 10 minutes at most, and then we'll have a chance to have questions, and we will have decaf chai, probably with soy milk. So decaf soy chai, which is perfect for this community. And that the whole experience is only 1 hour, and it's available to everyone. Everyone is welcome. So if you've been wanting to experience silence at a profound level and you didn't know how to do it, just show up, and we will make sure your eyes stay closed and you stay awake. Would you all please stand and take the hand of the person on your right and on your left? And won't you know with me that you and I are never alone, but that God is where we are right now and always, and the only thing we will ever need to do is look inside. Because it is there we will find that we are guided and sustained and directed and inspired by a God that knows only good. Joyously, let us make use of these gifts in all that we think and say and do, and so it is.
And so it is.
And as is our custom, would you please repeat after me? I am at home in the heart of God.
I am at home in the heart of God.
My life is anchored in truth.
My life is anchored in truth.
I can never be separate.
I can never be separate.
I live in the consciousness of peace.
I live in the consciousness of peace.
I release all fear.
I release all fear.
I am living love.
I am living love.
And so it is.
And so it is.